We're just so happy to see an original film that's not.
Goddamn,
Exactly
that too.
So part of me is like, why am I so happy about it? Is it because like, okay, it's not a comic film, it's not a franchise, it's not a sequel, it's not a prequel, it's none of that shit.
It's a goddamn film.
Funny thing is, my wife agreed to go for the film because she thought this was a Cumberbatch film.
It's some
You know,
slime,
you know what? No. It's you know how I convinced her to see Deadpool. I told her, and was the first Deadpool was around Valentine's Day, right? I said, let's go see it. It's a romantic comedy about a guy with cancer.
It's a romantic comedy.
It's a guy with cancer trying to get back to his wife. And she was like, oh, that sounds sweet.
There's no one that's going around going, I'm a one-take film fan. Like, I watched Birdman. This is the next one-take film.
Those motherfuckers exist, you know.
Those motherfuckers exist. Okay, so then, this is the best one since Victoria or Time Code or Russian Ark.
Like, it's not quite as good as Russian Ark.
Well, Russian Ark is the only one that's truly one shot. And they got it on what, the third take?
On the third take.
Yeah.
The entire movie is literally one shot.
Okay, so no magic
there's
here.
There's no editing.
No editing.
There's no editing tricks.
Pure rehearsal.
They couldn't even do it on film because ain't nobody got a film can big enough for that.
Oh, God.
Some of the best masturbation I've seen caught on film. Roger Deakins, you masterful motherfucker. How is this man not more appreciated? You know,
How has he only won one Academy Award for cinematography?
Fuck does this guy only have one Oscar?
I was shocked about that. I mean,
Which one did he win for, by the way?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, right? Watch it now, and when you hear Kevin Spacey drop the line, I want to look good naked, like, I know exactly how you feel, sir.
Okay, revealing.
A war movie and everything shot in camera. I mean, there's very little CGI.
We
right?
waited for the credits because we were like, how many effects houses are we going to see?
One.
One.
We saw one, and it's basically cleanup.
And again, we talked about the clarity of plot, right?
Yeah.
Every moment in this film is push the plot.
Yeah.
So you see, he gets there, beautiful scene. He's trying to breathe, he's catching it, and then we are the guys, and he's like, "You're gonna be the dead guys."
Yeah.
You can see again. He didn't say a word, right? It's in his eyes. My God, that moment for me was wow.
And goddamn, that shot when the camera goes over the water without creating any ripples, right?
Yeah.
What wires again, right? Was it a techno crane?
Technocrane.
Techno crane, right? I need a techno crane. not for anything, just to own one, you know.
Just to have one.
Yeah, it seems so useful.
You don't have a big enough house.
I don't have a big enough chair too. You can't sit on one anymore, right? Or can you? You can, right?
They normally do remote hits these days.
Ah man, I want to be like freaking Steven Spielberg on the set of like 1940 whatever, where he's sitting on the camera like the side chair.
I've been on a shoot with that before.
Not worth it.
It's not worth it when you almost crash into the ceiling of the shop house that you're shooting at.
Props to Spielberg for probably depicting like, you know, Normandy, the beach landing in a way that nobody till that day has seen war so visceral and so gruesome and so violent.
It was basically so visceral that was a staple during national service when we were military conscripts. You're like, yeah, you see, this is why you need to wear a helmet. Then they'll show you the scene where the guy gets shot in the head.
His head blown up.
Yeah. So basically, like, props to Spielberg for basically giving military sergeants everywhere in the world something to horrify recruits with. So he also uses the Airy Trinity.
The Trinity, yeah.
Which is a combination of Steadicam and gimbal. Normally you have gimbal, which is electronic stabilization, which looks a bit mechanical, looks a bit floaty. You have like the Steadicam, which uses weights and balances. And what the Trinity does is it combines both, and it allows you to go from low mode to high mode easily. So I would argue that this film might not even be possible without the Trinity.
Yeah, I agree.
The setups of going low to high and everything would have been very difficult without that. That's the thing about films, is that it's not any one thing that makes them classics.
Yep.
They can be perfectly executed but not resonate with you or not stay with you like years past their
Also, at
running.
the same time, they can be totally nonsense garbage like Gremlins, but I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, I love that film.
Because they grab you emotionally, and that's not something you can necessarily quantify. So I understand why you're wondering whether you feel that way about 1917, because 1917, what's key about it is how well it's executed, but good execution is not the recipe for grabbing onto your
I mean,
heart.
think of it this way, along the lines of like, it's a very well-made burger, but it's still just a burger. You know, it's not like some fine dining experience. So for me, I would say like 1917 is fine dining experience executed perfectly. And I say perfectly, but I wouldn't say flawlessly because there are some flubs here and there. Will I remember it in 5 years, 10 years? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, because if you're a cinematography nerd and you just see those shots will forever ring with me as like, they did it. Because that totally reminded me of Blade Runner. The moving lights and the shadows.
The
and
moving lights,
everything.
but the thing about it is that it's really, really hard to do, especially when you've got such a tall structure, you've got these shadows, you're doing it one shot. The difficulty of getting flares to illuminate what you need, and then it goes to darkness, and then you have another flare. You have to coordinate all your light sources. Your light sources are moving, and you see the behind the scenes.
You had to have it
featurette.
on lines, right? Because they didn't want it to like go off target, right?
Yeah, that's right. They had it on lines, and also they had the scale models, and they were simulating it with the scale models to say, okay, do we have enough light for the part where he runs from here to here?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to add another flare here. We just tweak the timing of this. The planning required to get it right was amazing.